Hi guys, what's up? It's Thomas here. Welcome to my channel. Today's video I want to touch a little bit on the recent fake news. Fake news, if you're following the headline, that Trump banned all the Muslims from the 7 countries to come into US. Of course, it doesn't have anything to do with Muslims in the first place. He banned all the citizens of those 7 countries. With exception of politicians and celebrities and stuff like that. And this is 90 days ban for these people to travel into US. The countries that are on the list are Iran, Iraq, Syria, Sudan, Libya, Yemen, and Somalia. And of course, as with anything or any other promise that Trump delivered on, there is massive outrage everywhere in the media about this. And of course, UN denounced denounced that ban, saying that Donald Trump's ban on travel to the US from some Muslim majority countries, they have to make sure it's about religion. They have to make sure it's about religion, so it's Muslim majorities countries, has been denounced by the UN's rights chief as mean-spirited and illegal under international human rights law. It's very interesting to say that because there is actually a rule in a US code that I suppose has to comply with American Constitution as well, which protects human rights, that allows Donald Trump to do so. And it's actually not the first person to do so, because not so far ago, I believe it was, 2015 or 2013, I'm not sure now, but Obama put similar bans on certain countries. I believe Bush did so as well. I'm not sure about that though. But if you go to US code, and I put the link in the description for you guys, so you don't have to, if you want to check it yourself, research yourself, just to make it easy for you. So it says here, this point F or paragraph F, whatever you want to call it really, suspension of entry or imposition of restrictions by president. And it says here, whenever the president finds that the entry of any aliens or of any class of aliens into the United States would be detrimental to the interests of the United States, and I believe that protecting US citizens from Islamic terrorism is actually in the interest of the United States and its people, he may by proclamation and for such period as he shall deem necessary. So for whatever period of time really, he can suspend the entry of all aliens or any class of aliens as immigrants or non-immigrants, or impose on the entry of aliens any restrictions he may deem to be appropriate. So this is a very, very, that law pretty much gives you loads of freedom what you want to do in this situation. And definitely Trump, there is nothing against the law, or there is nothing illegal in the fact that he signed this executive order, because there is already a legislation in place that allows him to impose this temporary ban. Also, there is 120 days ban on all the refugees coming into US, I believe, and that is to come up with better vetting processes before they're gonna start allowing more people in, I believe. But you all know this. I'm not gonna go on about it too much, because I would want to shift your attention to what's going on here in UK. And of course in UK, massive outrage as well. And we have some protests in London going on, stuff like that. But there is also a petition. There is a petition. There was one petition in 2015, I believe, to ban Donald Trump from completely coming. So not, as it says here, from making a state visit, but completely ban him from coming to UK. I believe that would be a little bit too ironic to have the same petition running again. So this petition says here, prevent to prevent Donald Trump from making a state visit to the United Kingdom. And as follows: Donald Trump should be allowed to enter the UK in his capacity as head of the US government, but he should not be invited to make an official state visit because it would cause embarrassment to Her Majesty the Queen. So this petition pretty much says that Queen shouldn't talk to Trump because that would be disrespectful because of Donald Trump's well-documented misogyny and vulgarity that disqualifies him from being received by Her Majesty the Queen or the Prince of Wales, which is her husband, but not the King. Therefore, during the term of his presidency, Donald Trump should not be invited to the United Kingdom for an official state visit. And already, what a piece of shit petition that is, right? Don't really know what it's all about, apart from showing some outrage that Donald Trump won the election and actually gonna keep his word and deliver on his promises. But there is already 1,491,000 signatures, so we come into 1.5 million. I guess today by midnight, definitely gonna be over 1.5 million. This is the second biggest petition since this website petition.parliament.uk started. The biggest one was over 4 million signatures, and that was the one to call second referendum on Brexit. And thank God, obviously, it didn't go through. Any petition that has over 100,000 signatures has to be debated by the Parliament. And there's already many voices from supporters of Donald Trump here in UK, or people who support, Brexit and all the other means necessary to curb the, illegal migration or refugees, because that's our problem. You have illegal aliens, we have refugees that are murdering people and living off benefits. So obviously, this one, it's not yet, it doesn't have any sort of official debate date designated just yet, but there was already an emergency debate on this in the Parliament called by Ed Miliband, I believe, after 6 o'clock today. And by the way, we already know that there is over 30,000 petitions that are not from UK. This site is actually very good. And coming back to this argument, should this coming back to my previous point, there's many people saying this shouldn't even be considered by Parliament, and I absolutely disagree with that. If the rule says that any petition over 100,000 has to be debated by Parliament, then every petition over 100,000 has to be debated by the Parliament. And I hope Parliament, our MPs, so far with all these petitions, seem pretty reasonable. The petition, though, to call the second referendum didn't go through. The previous petition that had 587,000 signatures to ban Trump from coming to UK, that didn't go through. But yeah, definitely should be considered. There can't be any sort of double standard. If any petition means any petition, even if it's fucking dumb. Like, you can even, this site has some nice features. You can actually, even go here and check on the map where the most morons in UK live. And apparently this is where I am. So we have really high amount of morons per square meter here in London, that's for sure. So it's actually interesting to see that not that many people give a fuck apart from London. I'm not sure what's here. Cambridge. Okay, Cambridge, nice. And to Scotland, what's that? Is that Edinburgh or Glasgow? I think it's it. So yeah. That's Bristol. All right. Well, actually, it's very funny because it seems like the most those red and dark red burgundy fields would definitely correspondent with the Muslim, the Muslim communities here in UK. Actually surprised that there is not that many. Of course, Milton Keynes, there is many Muslims there, a lot of Somalians causing trouble. Birmingham is there as well. There's loads of them there. So you can see. Also, it's worth noting that this petition has 1.5 million signatures, but there is 4 million Muslims living in UK. So it's not even all the Muslims that signed it yet. And I mean, a lot of people is talking about this petition, man. They talk about it in the news over and over again, every 5 minutes, every new article on BBC. Look at this petition, this many signatures, that many signatures. You know, articles saying, "Oh, it went 2 million, it went over 1 million, it's going to 1.5 million." So yeah, I think it's actually a really nice feature because as you can see, I didn't even realize it, but it seems like a lot of this very poor areas of UK people usually don't give a fuck about this stuff there. But definitely those areas where we have big Muslim communities and a lot of immigrants in general are really for it. And I must tell you, I'm an immigrant. I'm legal immigrant. I came here from Poland. I'm working here legally and I'm paying my taxes, national insurance, my pensions, whatever. And I actually think this is how it should be. I can't imagine the fact that you know, Americans have this sort of thing with those illegal people illegally being in your country and illegally working, and there is no responsibility, you know, for that breaking the law for these people and actually being protected. I think it's ridiculous. But anyways, coming back to the topic. So there was this emergency debate. It's still going on. It started around 6 o'clock. And the whole debate started by Ed Miliband's 3 questions on US policy. And these questions are as follow. Is it right for President Trump to impose travel restrictions on people from certain countries and refugees? And yes, it is right. It doesn't break the law. And if it's subjectively right or not is to your own judgment. I would say if he wants to protect American citizens, and we have so much evidence of Islamic, you know, terrorism and people coming from these countries starting shootings and killing people, then definitely it's right to do so. I mean, what, you know, just that's the thing. You got to do anything in your power to stop it and to protect your people. And will the president's actions make the world a safer place or a more dangerous place? And I'm even not gonna, you know. Third question is, what is our responsibility? Who cares? It's not even your fucking problem, British government. You know, this whole policy. And the second question is very interesting. As I said, will the president's actions make the world a safer place or a more dangerous? I think it's a very good question. We're definitely gonna touch on it a little bit later on. But just to keep you updated, we got some protesters. But Theresa May already said that the Trump state visit invitation stands. The invitation to Donald Trump to make a state visit to the UK stands, says Prime Minister Theresa May. On a visit to Dublin, she tells the press that the UK and US maintain a special relationship. I heard special relationship coming out of this woman's mouth so many times last 2 weeks. I'm already getting a little bit sick and tired of it, even though I'm happy about it. But yeah, and basically what I want to touch on here is what a massive double standard and virtue signaling this whole debate and petition is from not only British people, and not even British. I wouldn't say that many of these people are actually British. They may be mostly immigrants like me who feel they endangered that this policy may be imposed in this country. But Ed Miliband, you know, is talking about asking this question: is it right for President Trump, or was it right for President Obama? I don't remember that when President Obama imposed some of those temporary bans, you know, there was some massive outrage about it. So that's already weird. And I also, touching on this question, will the president's actions make the world a safer place or a more dangerous place? I was listening to talk radio today in the morning. There was Tommy Robinson there, and the host asked him this question many times, brought this argument many times, that if Trump bans those 7 countries, why doesn't he ban Saudis as well? Because as we all know, 9/11 terrorists, majority of them were from Saudi Arabia. And I think it's actually a good question why. And I have, in my opinion, actually, even though I support what Trump's doing so far, I have a problem with Saudi Arabia not being on this list. I would like to see Saudi Arabia on top of this list, because as we all know, Saudi Arabia is responsible for co-funding ISIS, to use them as a proxy army to destabilize the situation in the Middle East. Not only Saudis, also, other countries, Western countries as well. I think as Tommy Robinson had a similar opinion here that yes, Saudis maybe should be on this. Well, Kellyanne Conway on Fox News was asked about it as well yesterday, I believe, and she said, "Well, this is not a final list. It's not closed. It's not done and dusted. The list may expand, but we are just using this list of 7 countries that was, created or expanded from 4 to 7 by President Obama. So this is their start point, I would assume." But what I don't like about this whole situation really is that we seem to miss a couple very important facts. First of all, we as UK as UK as a country, as our government, our representative, our people who represent us, have absolutely no right to go on this international, virtue signaling mission on a government level here, saying that this is all wrong. And I tell you why. I will tell you why. And I will tell you why I think that Donald Trump should not cooperate with Saudis to try to stabilize Middle East and stop the refugee crisis. As we already heard, they had some conversations talking about Saudis, accepting more refugees from these countries like Syria and whatnot, so they don't go to Europe, for example, and to United States as well, but mostly to Europe because it's much closer and you can pay for a service. They're gonna traffic you all the way to the coast of Italy or Greece. Interesting where these people actually get the money from to it's refugees, so we'd think it's people who have nothing, lost their houses, all their precious things that they had, money, and but apparently so many of these people are able to afford to pay for illegal trafficking to Europe. And and yeah, coming to my point about Saudis, the Saudis are definitely the last country you should cooperate with to stop the refugee crisis. And I'll bring some some arguments to why. I'm not actually gonna miss that BBC article. I'm gonna add it in the description of this video so you can check it out, because it's the article from February 2016. But we got some updated information here on Wikipedia. Actually, if you just Google Saudi Arabia United Kingdom relations, because I found it by mistake. I wanted to find the list of all the dodgy people from Saudi Arabia that were invited to United Kingdom on official visits. I don't know. I didn't spend too much time trying to Google it, but it was pretty hard to get any information regarding that. But if you go here on Saudi Arabia United Kingdom relations, United Kingdom that likes to virtue signal a lot about some other countries' international policies and foreign policies, yes? So in November 2016, 2 parliamentary committees released a joint report calling for the British government to stop licensing arms exports to Saudi Arabia until a United Nations investigation had been conducted into alleged breaches of international humanitarian law. However, a British government released a statement saying they disagreed with the parliamentary committee's recommendations. That was in November 2016. In December 2016, British government research revealed that British-made cluster bombs had been used by the Saudi-led coalition in Yemen. According to Amnesty International, cluster munitions are banned under international law as they can lie unexploded and cause severe injury years after the initial attack. And then later, in January 2017, so this month, Parliament debated a motion calling for an independent investigation into violations of international humanitarian law in Yemen. Incidents to be investigated include the bombing of a funeral which killed 140 people, I suppose civilians, the bombing of a refugee camp. Really? So is this how we're gonna solve the refugee problem with Saudis now? We're gonna put them in refugee camps in Saudi Arabia just so they can drop English cluster bombs and kill these people. Is this how we want to solve this problem? And 8 bombings of densely populated areas. Populated by civilians, I would assume. But not only that. In 6 months from, I think, beginning of 2016 to end of first half of 2016, UK granted weapon export licenses to Saudis of weapons worth around 3 billion British pounds, which is 3.7 billion American dollars. So we are arming these people, a Saudi coalition that is bombing the shit out of fucking civilians in Yemen at the moment. Not only that, we provide them cluster bombs that are banned by the international law. And I would like to see some fucking outrage about it, maybe. Maybe we can do some virtue signaling about bombing the shit out of people, 140 people on a funeral in fucking Yemen. Maybe we can talk about that a little more, and I would like to see maybe a petition for government to do something about it. And I would like to see more than 1.5 million signatures under that petition, because I think it's a very, very, very important issue. And it has to be solved right now. Instead of fucking talking shit about Trump and debating if he should be allowed to talk to the Queen because he said 10 years ago that women let him do anything he wants to them because he's rich and famous, and same applies to all the rich and famous people. We debate that, and we don't debate the fact that we supply bombs that are banned by international law so Saudis can bomb the shit out of civilians in Yemen. Why are we not talking about that? And this is coming back to my point again and again. I'm gonna repeat it 4th time in this video. Why do we even talk about the refugee crisis with Saudis? These guys are fucking criminals. Their country is ridiculous. The laws that they have there. And we are criticizing Trump. What the fuck is wrong with people? Why do people even allow themselves to get distracted by those tiniest issues that make absolutely they don't mean anything? Because Theresa May can meet Trump whenever she fucking wants, and your petition, left-wing snowflake, not gonna change it. And it's so annoying for me to see these people virtue signaling about anything. Hashtag delete Uber. Maybe hashtag stop bombing the shit out of Yemen using fucking UK bombs and illegal weapons, and maybe hashtag stop killing civilians in Yemen. Maybe we should discuss that. Maybe that should be trending now on Twitter. So that's it for this video, guys. I really wanna on my videos, I really wanna bring my videos starting point of distraction by the media and those fucking pointless arguments about crowd sizes and shit, and start from these petty issues and go to some real issues that we should be talking about now. This is so recent. This is as recent. And can you imagine, in November, the parliament said, no, it's all right. We're just gonna keep on supplying Saudis with weapons, let them bomb the shit out of civilians in Yemen, it's fine. Why are we not outraged about that? And this, guys, I mean, seriously, stop getting in pointless arguments that you can't win with these left-wing morons, because you're not gonna win any argument with a social justice warrior, because social justice warrior doesn't accept any sort of factual evidence or an argument. They follow their feelings and what other left-wing propaganda is telling them to say, think, or to do. And you're not gonna win using a reason. You can reason to people who actually listen to you. These people don't listen to you. They say, love Trump's hate, and 3 seconds later they say, fuck Trump, kill Trump. Like today, this lady, Indian Night, or whatever she's called, a fucking, column writer and author of books, book about, ownership of dog, goes on Facebook and asks why this assassination is taking so long. What the fuck is going on, people? We have some real issues here to solve, and we have to put more and more pressure on our officials. And if you are in UK and you're watching this video, I urge you to not only research this issue, but also talk to other people about it, because this is a disgrace. This is a shame what we are doing. We are, as UK, supporting war criminals who are killing civilians in Yemen. We are arming them. And this is not right. And maybe stop caring so much here in Europe about what Trump is doing, because now this is a perfect distraction to stop talking about things like refugee crisis. Maybe we should try to solve our problems. I would like to remind you, there was a girl raped by three immigrants in Sweden, and they was raped that took 3.5 hours, and it was all streamed on Facebook Live, and Facebook didn't even ban or stop that, because apparently it applies with all their fucking rules. But when you post something against Hillary Clinton, or maybe touching on Pizzagate, you're a fucking criminal, and you get a month ban or a week ban or permanent ban from Twitter or Facebook. These are the issues we should be talking about now, guys. Not what Trump is doing. Trump is doing what he's promised us to do. He's keeping so far, not 100% on whatever he promised, but it's only week in. Let's talk about what Trump did and didn't do in, 100 days. Let's give the guy some time to do his shit. Let people in America control their own government and what they are doing, and let government in UK stop caring about real issues that we have right now. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Sorry for the rambling at the end, but I find it so frustrating to read about it and not hear, and I not see enough coverage of this anywhere in the media, even independent media. Not even mentioning BBC and those other wankers. Guys, have a good one, and I shall see you in another video. Take care.